What I wanted was some rough and ready, hard as a hammer, blue-collar Texas Shakespeare. Guy Clark wasn't quite it. Kris Kristofferson wasn't either. Willie, he's Texan as hell, but he was always more than that, too. Who I found was Billy Joe Shaver. And man, he was my favorite. I listened to everything that he recorded. I went to see him a bunch of times, shook his hand after some shows, did some phone interviews, ran into him at a couple of picnics in Luckenbach. But 2006 was going to be my moment. I had an in-person interview scheduled with him at the Fort Worth picnic that year, and it was going to be great. And he wasn't where he was supposed to be, of course, but Billy Joe was not a hard man to find. And I asked him a few questions, and after a while, I had everything that I could use in my story, plus some. But I could not resist asking him about his adventures at the 1973 picnic in Dripping Springs. Well, he gets to talking and carries on for a little while. My mind starts wandering, holy shit. Here I am in the Fort Worth Stockyards, backstage at Willie Nelson's 4th of July picnic, and Billy Joe Shaver is telling me a story. That's the most Texan thing that ever happened to me, or anybody for that matter. Tommy Lee Jones could kick down my door tonight in his cowboy boots and beat my ass to death with an armadillo, and my dying words would be, "You think that's Texan?" Anyway, Billy Joe told me that the day before the 73 picnic, he got bit by a poisonous spider at the Armadillo World headquarters, and by the next day he was hallucinating that he was Jesus and baptizing people in mud puddles. And that's a great story, don't get me wrong, but I've been to the 73 picnic site, and I know it was rocky and dusty as hell and probably lacking in any sort of puddles, muddy or otherwise. Townsend Miller, who worked for the Austin American-Statesman and covered that picnic in 73, wrote that Billy Joe Shaver got caught in traffic the morning of the picnic and had to run the last few miles to the stage so he wouldn't miss his set. Not hardly the sort of behavior you're going to get from a hallucinating cowboy Jesus. Bill Bentley, who I interviewed for the book, said that the run to the stage didn't do a hell of a lot for Shaver's mood. He told me he kind of had a scowl on his face and played about 2 or 3 songs by himself. And then he just said, "Me and my mama got out here and we had to walk in a mile to even get to the stage. To hell with this." And then he walked off. The truth probably came from fellow singer-songwriter Lee Clayton. In my interview with him a few years ago, he got straight to the point. He said, "Billy Joe just took a handful of acid and was crazy the whole damn time." So, conflicting stories. All we can be sure of when it comes to Billy Joe Shaver in the 1973 picnic was that Billy Joe was there, but he was not all there.